What is going on, everyone? Happy Wednesday. Thank you guys all so much for tuning back in, and let's jump right into another little recap here. So, it is currently 8:17 p.m., and yeah, it's a little bit of a later upload, but I could only get the video filmed now, just like yesterday. And where I want to show you guys was right around the market open at 6:30 in the morning. So this is the NASDAQ that I'm looking at, and at 6:30 in the morning every morning, that's when the market opens up, and that's where you see a lot more volatility usually come into play because the market opens up for a lot of people. So more people are looking to trade, and on top of that, as you guys can see today, the pattern was pretty sideways in terms of how it traded. It literally only had these high points and it hit these low points. It didn't really go anywhere to the top VWAP. It didn't touch it at all. And it did approach the bottom VWAP towards the start of the day, but then it kind of was just finding a little support a bit above it. And yeah, so not much moves up or down, but definitely money could have been made. Obviously, if you played your cards right, it would have been smart looking at the chart right now. Obviously, if you wanted to make some money getting into TQs around here, aiming for the NASDAQ to go up, right? It corresponds with TQQQ. And that's what it wouldn't have been a bad call to do that basically, right? Because if you got in at these bottom levels, that's where it's tended to bounce on the day. And if you weren't TQs, you would look to lock in profits maybe around this general area, right? And vice versa, if it was around this area, you could look for a play to the downside or get into the inverse SQQQ, and you could obviously have made a nice little margin doing that multiple times. And yeah, if you were in SQs, obviously selling around this bottom area, after it's pulled down quite a little bit, that would be in your best interest to avoid kind of riding this chop up and down, and you can make money either way. That's why it was very possible, but obviously today I was red again. Definitely disappointed in my performance recently. I've just been more consistently red. Definitely a lot more managed. It wasn't the biggest red day or anything like that, but yeah, I need to work on finding ways to just be a lot more consistently green. It's definitely possible, and I am making a lot of mistakes every day. And today, what I want to share with you, the mistake I've been making, I've noticed, and I don't know why I keep doing it over and over. I really need to make myself become more aware of it. Is I'm getting into plays when direction might be in my favor. Like, let's say I waited for the NASDAQ to start falling below the EMA and I got into SQs. Direction is in my favor, and it will be for maybe a little bit, but it's not smart if the NASDAQ has tended to kind of bounce off the bottom VWAP to be getting into SQs barely right around here. The margin's not worth it, right? It's basically a 1-to-1 risk to reward. So the margin is definitely not worth it. I need to get into something and be a lot more patient and selective with my trades to make sure they're really worth it. Like a trade, if the NASDAQ fell towards the bottom VWAP here, a trade for TQs would have been worth it to try, right? Because there's such a large margin it usually has to run up. But if I wait to get into TQs once it's shown a lot of confirmation, but if I don't get in until like right around here, at a break above the blue EMA, then that doesn't give me with much margin. Yeah, sometimes it went off a little, but what about these few times right around here and here and here? It's got rejected, right? It's just not worth it. So I need to basically be more aware of that and keep that in mind. I don't know why I keep making that same mistake, and I'm gonna try to avoid it for sure. And yeah, just looking at the thumbnail, it was another red day. I was down. Let me get rid of this here. I was down $13.41 on SQs and $2.88 on SQs. So definitely not the end of the world. Here are all my filled orders. You guys can take a look at them if you want. And yeah, one trade I do want to point out is that I was proud of myself for was right around here. Once I saw the market break kind of above this green SMA line and really start uptrending, it was using this blue line here, riding it up as a support. I looked into TQs and I averaged up, obviously as it started to break above the middle VWAP. And any other day, this big drop it had after would have got me, but I didn't end up selling out because I'm making sure to tell myself to only sell when it's smart to, when it makes sense. And it doesn't make sense to sell at this green SMA line when it's just recently been uptrending so consistently. And on top of that, it could definitely bounce off the SMA line now, right? Because direction is starting to look in its favor. And that's what ended up happening, and I ended up selling kind of somewhere around here. Didn't make the most money. I was green and red. I switched between them multiple times, but obviously ended up being red. So I need to work on just staying green. That happened to me yesterday as well, and yeah, that's what I want to share with you guys. In terms of why I was red, I did get faked out a lot of times. Like when the market opened up right around here, I looked to kind of get into TQs as it got near the bottom VWAP, but obviously it kept falling kind of hard, and I decided to sell, only for it to kind of start rallying up and everything like that, right? So I kind of just got caught in these fake outs, you know? As the market started to fall, I barely started to get into SQs like I told you guys, only for it to just have a nice bounce, flush me out, and then start falling again. I would get into SQs again, make the same mistake because it would just flush me out. So definitely need to pay attention to where I'm getting in and if it's smart or not, because being real with myself looking back, these trades were not smart. They don't offer the best margin, so they're maybe not worth taking. So yeah, I just want to leave you guys with that. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Like I said in the beginning, it really means a lot to me, and yeah, make sure to tune on in tomorrow and Friday. I'll be posting videos of my trades there. Thank you guys all so much and have a great night.